Everybody is obsessed with copying Alex Hormozi's content strategy, but they are missing the most important part. I have been using a similar approach to Alex, and that has generated me over 7 figures in this online coaching space. And I only noticed it after Alex popped onto the scene, and I realized that what he and I do is similar. In this video, I'm going to show you what everyone is missing about Alex's strategy and reveal the most important part about taking somebody from being a consumer of your content to a customer of your products. So Alex's goal is to get leads for acquisition.com. He has said this publicly. That is why he creates content, is so that he can find those businesses that are doing like $3 million a year, and he can buy into them and help them scale. But Alex knows that an Instagram reel is not going to result in a 7-figure client knocking on his door to work together. So Alex has created this comprehensive content journey for his audience to go on that allows them to build more and more trust in him over time, and ultimately one day filling out that application to work with acquisition.com. And that word trust is the one that I want you to pay attention to, because at the end of the day, nobody buys anything without trust. I've worked with over 400 high ticket clients where I've charged them thousands of dollars to work with me. And I can't tell you how many times when I ask the person, what made you make the decision to go with me? And they use that word. They say, well, it's because I trust you. So it's important to work backwards from this idea of gaining trust to this content world, and then say, how in the world do you create trust with content? Well, to begin with, there are 3 types of content. Type 1 is short form. That would be like a tweet or a quote or a reel. This is something that you can consume in 60 seconds or less. And this is the majority of the content that gets consumed online in terms of volume. And the purpose of short form content is just to make people aware. If you've seen those wacky inflatable waving arm men in front of the tire store when you're driving down the street, it's like, hey, I'm right here. That's literally what you can think of when you think about like posting a quote or posting a reel. Next, we have medium form content, which is something that you could consume in, let's say, a matter of a few minutes or less. This might be like your typical LinkedIn post that has the image and like a shorter caption. This is kind of the bridge. It helps people become a little bit more interested in you and what you do. But still, are you really going to give someone thousands of dollars if you just read like a shorter post that they write? Probably not. You're still going to kind of wonder, is this person legit? And can they really help me? People don't really pay money until you've honestly helped them already. And you can't dramatically change someone's life with medium form content. Another example of medium form content would be like a Twitter thread where you got the 10 different posts that all link together, and it's a nice list that teaches you something. And last, we have long form content. This is content that typically takes you, at least 10 minutes or more. Sometimes it can be up to hours to consume. And obviously, when you get into content length of that level, this is the type of content that really educates the buyer. It makes them trust you. It goes into detail. You talk about your credibility, your backstory, client results, all these different things. Long form content is where the magic happens. This is when you really seriously start to date your audience member, and you've taken them by the hand and you're really deepening that relationship, deepening that trust. Now let's get back to Mr. Hormozi so that we can put a bow on this. Think about your experience with him. How has he helped you the most? Think about it for a second. What way has Alex helped you the most? I'm going to guess that a lot of you, if you've taken enough time to dive into his ecosystem, your answer is going to be his books. His 2 books, $100 million Leads and $100 million Offers. Those books are absolute bangers, and I've read Offers like 3 times. I'm on my 2nd time going through Leads now, and they absolutely leave nothing out. They are like the literal playbook for business success. That is the reason why I recently actually filled out an application to potentially attend Alex's 5K workshop live in Vegas, where you get to go and ask him and Layla questions. I would not have taken that extra step had I not read his books. His book helped me so much. They've literally made me a lot more money than what that workshop costs. And that was his goal all along, was to put out content that helps you make enough money to qualify to be a business that's under the acquisition.com umbrella. So an Instagram reel might have made me hit that follow button on Alex's profile. And then a YouTube video might have made me think, whoa, this guy really knows his stuff. Then I click the link in the description, grab one of his books, and then the books are where my mind got truly blown and I became a raving fan of his and ready to pay him a lot more money to get his help. Now, there's a lot of people that don't have a short to medium to long form content strategy built in place. Maybe they're just posting shorts and they're getting a bunch of attention, but no one really trusts them enough to actually buy, or they're posting too much long form stuff and nobody's actually aware that they even exist because they don't have the shorter form discovery content that's waving that flag and getting people to notice in the first place. So it's very important to have the comprehensive content strategy that takes someone all the way from short to medium to long form content. Have a way for prospects to take that deep dive with you, like where you can teach them something for, let's say 45 minutes or longer. You could create long form podcasts, long form YouTube videos, write a book, which is obviously my long form content piece of choice. That way you have the opportunity for them to really trust you, get to know you, and go to that next level. I believe that Alex chose books as his form of super long form content because he knows that's where the most trust can be built. Also, the cool thing about a book is that unlike a podcast, it lives forever and it keeps paying dividends until the end of time. Literally will be for sale after you die. Books just stay around forever. And so I think they make a lot of sense to put at the end of your customer journey. It's like, hey, you want to see what I really know? Okay, here's a super long form piece of content that I put together for you in a book that's really going to help you build trust with me. When someone reads one of my books and they reach out, it's like we already know each other. They're like, man, your book helped me so much. How do we work together? It's such a different vibe from somebody that might have just, liked one of my Instagram reels or something. You can tell when someone has been consuming your long form content. The same thing happened with my real estate investing podcast back in the day. I was getting high ticket clients every single month from that. A lot of times they would come in, they'd be like, I've been binging your podcast for almost a year now. And today, here I am ready to sign up. If you are interested in publishing a book and using that as the long form piece of content that's going to warm that prospect up to working with you, and you want my help to get that book done, click the link in the description to grab a call with me. I have options for those who do not want to write the book themselves. If you've already been making some long form content, we can repurpose that into a book. If you're not ready to book a call, there's also a link below to get my 148 page book, Get Clients with a Book, completely free. It's got a writing template, so your book will be outlined the moment you open that up, and just instructions on exactly how to write and publish a book that's going to build that trust in your prospects. Last but not least, if you want to make sure that your book sells and brings you clients, you're going to want to make sure to check out this video. Appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.